All right, so let's do some of our winners and losers here, guys. And this will be specific to day 2. So if you want to kind of hit on a little bit of day 1 stuff, that's fine. But generally, we're kind of focusing on rounds 2 and 3. Let's start on the positive side of things. Russell, I'll start with you. Who is your number 1 winner of day 2?
I got to go with just what Houston did. Jalen Noel, 79th overall. I mean, he was my 32nd overall player, my wide receiver 4. They got his teammate Jaden Higgins. They got Jalen Noel. They revamped their passing attack. I mean, there was a lot of question marks around Tank Dell. They needed compliments to Nico Collins, and I know they're trying to piece everything together the best that they can. With what they got. But, to get Jalen Noel, I think at pick 79, just what a steal. And I think he's going to be a plug and play slot receiver for them, man.
Fitz, what would you say is your biggest winner?
I'm looking at that Tre Harris pick, and I was not the Tre Harris fan that Derek Brown was, but like that is an undeniably terrific landing spot for him. I think is the complimentary receiver to Ladd McConkey, and getting to work with Justin Herbert. So I thought Tre Harris was a big winner of day 2.
That's a good one. If I had sat down and tried to kind of line out where my ideal landing spot is for not just a receiver on day 2, but Tre Harris specifically, Chargers would have been really high on the list.
Yeah, actually, I gotta make him runner up to RJ Harvey. Like that landing spot was unbelievable. Yeah. Being the potentially primary running back in a Sean Payton backfield, and how valuable that can be. Like he might be the biggest day 2 winner from a fantasy perspective.
Do you think Harvey will end up being like a workhorse? I mean, we saw Sean Payton trade up to take Marvin Mims and then not use him. So it wouldn't be totally unheard of for him to take a guy high and then not use him in a way that fantasy managers want. We've seen him, be very comfortable going with a committee approach. So what's your confidence level, I guess, is what I'm asking Fitz, that Harvey will be something close to a workhorse?
I'm not like slam dunk confident in it. I mean, we know he kind of likes Jaleel McLaughlin, and apparently we've heard it said that he wants to use Audric Estime more. I'm not sure I entirely believe that. Yeah. So maybe it is kind of a true committee, but I don't know. I just think he's the most talented guy in that backfield.
Do you have a second winner you want to throw out, Russ?
I would have gone with Harvey as well, but just throw another name out there. Kyle Williams going to the Patriots, I think is a really good fit at 69. That 69th overall pick. I mean, he's got that big playability. He averaged over 17 yards per reception. He's got the deep speed. He can play inside, outside. We don't really know what Stephon Diggs is going to be when he comes back, but whether he's good or not, I guess that doesn't really matter. I think Williams complements Diggs really well. And this is about building around Drake May, right? So they got the offensive tackle. They've added Jared Wilson, as we saw, to kind of close out tonight. And then they get a guy like Kyle Williams in the middle of all of it. So really intrigued to see what he does with Drake May.
How about some losers? Fitz, I'll start with you here.
I hated the Luther Burden landing spot with the Bears. It just doesn't seem like there's a path for him unless the Bears were to, I don't know, maybe deal away DJ Moore, who seemed like he was disgruntled for much of the 2024 season. But, I was excited about Bird maybe going somewhere like the Titans or the Browns, where they had a vacancy for maybe a short area receiver who could add something. Even the Patriots, the Bears just don't seem like a place where he can thrive.
It feels like you could say there are a handful of quarterbacks that were winners, like Caleb Williams, obviously. CJ Stroud is another one. Are there any quarterbacks you would say are losers, Fitz, just in the sense of like, is there anybody who their team didn't do enough, or they took a guy you don't like thinking they're helping their quarterback and that you would classify as a loser?
Yeah, I mean, Debro talked about this on the pre-show. Like, what are the Cowboys doing? Why are they not giving Dak Prescott more weapons? And I know they did draft a terrific offensive lineman, for him in the first round, which, does him a favor in a different way. But man, you got to get this guy some weapons. It's CeeDee Lamb, and there is not much else to the Dallas offense. Like, he's the one playmaker in that offense, and they are just continuing to sit on their hands at running back, especially.
Russ, who's your top loser?
I'm going to go with New Orleans taking Tyler Shuck, just simply because the injury history with him. I mean, he's had back-to-back, broken collarbone injuries. He's had a dislocated shoulder, broken leg, a lot of things that he's got to come back from. And we all know the story, and it all went really well at Louisville. He threw with a lot of good touch, playing off structure, different arm angles, relatively good mobility, ran the 4.63 time in the 40, but you're going to probably be moving on from Derek Carr, it seems like. So you're getting rid of an injury-prone quarterback to take the risk on another injury-prone quarterback. I just feels like almost like 1A, 1B type of thing. And I just like, there's times like you watch the Louisville tape and Tyler Shuck will make some really asinine throwaways where he's just throwing it up in the air and not like taking the sack. So if he can't stay healthy, I don't know what's going to happen. I know Kellen Moore is I don't want to say a QB guru, but I don't know. It seems like a lot at pick 40, especially when Shedeur was on the board, and even Jalen Milroe. I felt like there was other dynamic players at the position.
Sounds like number one loser so far is Fitz. Number two loser is Debro, for how their teams have drafted so far. Is there an overall class that's your favorite so far, Russ?
I mean, I would be biased if I said the Lions, of course. I mean, I do like what they've done, starting in the trenches. I know the big move up for Isaac Tesla seems like a lot, but, I like what they've done. I really like what Tennessee has done, to be completely honest with you. They went out and got their quarterback. Obviously we'll see what happens with Cam Ward. Can he be the guy? And I've said that, kind of on this show and other shows throughout the portion of the day, like, they admitted that they made a mistake with Will Levis, and some teams, they keep going, another 2-3 years and not admitting they made a mistake. They did, and they swung for the fences here with Cam Ward. But I like Oladipo, Kevin Winston. They're kind of revamping the defense a little bit, and they got quite a few picks to tomorrow to maybe add to the offense as well. So I like what they've done a little bit.
Fitz, any kind of favorite classes? It doesn't really feel like, unless I'm forgetting somebody obvious, that there's one team that's kind of like running away with the draft grades that are incoming, right? Like, I don't know that anybody stands apart from the pack, unless maybe you disagree.
Baltimore.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's your stupid Ravens, Worm. They like stay put at number 27 and get just like the best safety in the draft, and Malachi Starks, and just like this fantastic football player. And then, Mike Green falls and falls and falls. This is a dude who had 17 sacks for Marshall last season, and then just was a beast at the Senior Bowl. Like, absolute first round talent. And a lot of people had him mocked to the middle of the first round, and the Ravens are able to get him outside the top 50. I mean, what pick was that where they got Mike Green? 59. Yeah, that's just absurd. And then they fill a need at guard, like in the third round. So great draft for the Ravens. Again, what's new?
Fitz, I'm sorry, your mic actually cut out for that whole thing. Do you mind repeating all those kind of words?